isn't true. That's ridiculous, Elderbear. Stop acting like a
Well,
victim.
because it is true. Whether it's there now, hang on, I'm just getting my glasses.
It
See.
is true, or it was true.
Rixky's coming.
There's never a
Yeah,
channel
mate.
called On the Level.
Your favorite?
Never.
Not from 24/7 anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, not to go on a big side rail, but you mentioned Miggy Elbow. Just not to go on a whole thing on this, but just curious, like, what is his general take on the, TFE trip, 24-hour sun, AE map? We don't have to go all into it. I'm just curious, like, does he have any take on it, or?
I mean, like, he never was a proponent of a map. That's what he's always thing. I mean, they had to use it as a basis to kind of show people, but he was never proponent, and he doesn't give a care, I guess, on the TFE, because same thing. The sun doesn't tell you what the Earth is.
But does he think the trip was real and that there is a 24-hour sun there, or he's just not making a claim on it?
Yeah, he doesn't swing anyway. He doesn't really give a care about it.
Does he think their trip is real?
I really haven't asked him about it. I mean, like I said, they'd never bring it up. When people bring
He
it up,
doesn't have a strong. Yeah,
ahead.
I was talking to him about it yesterday. Not yesterday, last week. Sorry, he doesn't have a strong belief that it was faked. He doesn't see a problem with a 24-hour sun in with a flat Earth. We were talking about the dual pole model actually for quite a while. I was sharing him some of New Perspective and EOne stuff. He had some questions about the analemma, about the sun, but he's quite open-minded to the idea. So yeah, Miggy's pretty open-minded at the minute.
Yeah, and always wasn't like set hard on any kind of model or whatnot. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was just curious. People
the dual.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say the dual model is the dual pole model is not model, but idea is a hot topic at the moment in 24/7. A lot of people are talking about it.
Is that kind
Behind
of inspired
the
by
scenes,
new Perspective bringing it in there, or just other combos, or what's the happenings with it over there? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'd probably say inspired by New Perspective. This was something that was discussed previously, but kind of written off because of some of the distances of some of the long haul flights and the analemma as well. And it was kind of like written off as let's just like not talk about it, because they like to just talk about what can be empirically proven. They're not really into discussing philosophy or models, but New Perspective doing those chats with EOne sparked a lot of conversation in the back channels, and it's like 50-50. Like, a lot of people are really into it now, really want to talk about it, and a few guys are like, look, what's the point? We can't really prove anything here. But there's no real negativity towards it. It's quite a hot topic now.
Didn't that he doesn't know any flat earther that believes in a dual pole. I think he's false, but
who said that?
Didn't BBR1 just a few minutes ago or half an hour ago or so.
No,
Jin usually comes and talks a lot. Never listens.
He doesn't listen. Yeah, he doesn't listen to conversations.
He Jin likes to hold the mic a lot. So it's he goes. I mean, he does talk. Like, he does have conversations, but he has a lot to say. So
from what I saw before TFE, no one was talking about dual pole. I mean, maybe one or two people or so, but
that's not true. We've been talking about here for a long time. That's not true.
Yeah, but before TFE, it was really not a hot topic. After TFE, it really got interesting and more brought to presence.
I think wasn't like
in Antarctica.
Wasn't those people from that other side of the country? I mean, other side of the world. Didn't they have like a dual pole model way before this? We were talking.
There's definitely a lot of talk around dual pole, probably about 6 to 12 months before TFE, but it kind of died down. and then TFE came, and then it's kind of reignited it a bit. But there was a lot of other YouTube flat earthers who had confirmed, you know, that there is a 24-hour sun, and that the Egyptians sort of were talking about it in some of the older models. There was mentions of it, and yeah, like there was plenty of flat earthers who were already saying there was a 24-hour sun well before the 24-hour sun. Well before TFE, I mean. I feel like it's a bit of a talking. It's a bit of like a rhetoric to say that TFE changed how flat earthers have been discussing flat Earth. Like, yeah, there was a bunch of flat earthers who believed in the AE model and had a problem, but there was a hell of a lot of flat earthers who were just saying, look, yeah, there probably is a 24-hour sun, and there's plenty of depictions and ideas where a 24-hour sun would work on a flat Earth.
When did they pull the channel in, Roots? Because you were on, episode 49. Episode 49, you were on the Level YouTube channel, the Rationalist Summit. So
you mean Frontline Unfiltered?
No, it was called On the Level. Why did they pull it?
It wasn't called On the Level. It was called Frontline Unfiltered.
Yes, it was. It's called On the Level. So they changed the name. Unfiltered since I spoke to AI Overlord. Look in the chat. I spoke to AI Overlord about it. They changed the title of it. That's interesting.
Dude, we before they even went live the first time, it was
You're a load of fucking snakes, you are, aren't you, eh?
What are you talking about? It was called Frontline Unfiltered on Rumble. No, it wasn't even on YouTube. It wasn't even on YouTube, you idiot.
I just showed you the link. It's on YouTube. The picture. Because the link's gone now because they've changed it. So is it called on Frontline Unfiltered now on YouTube? Episode 49. Your name there, Roots. What's that?
They don't have a YouTube, bro.
Have a look. Frontline Unfiltered is a political channel on YouTube. It's about the war in Ukraine.
What am I looking at? So I'm looking at what? A conversation between you and AI
Overlord.
So yes, you don't have any evidence that you're not showing any proof that it was on YouTube, and you're not showing any proof.
That is a YouTube. Yeah, it is a picture from YouTube. Yeah. So why since I spoke to AI Overlord, when I spoke to AI Overlord, yes, what's that?
What does it say on the Level?
Yeah, where does it say on the level?
There. No, I know the game, but it doesn't matter about that.
Where does it say on the level?
Dude, what are you claiming victory about?
Can you shut up, Ricksky?
Yeah, I don't even see where it says YouTube.
Shut the fuck down, Ricksky. Anyway, listen. Show me the link on YouTube to the episode 49 now as it exists, please.
Well, then you should have that link, then. If it's on your conversation, you should be able to copy and paste
you pulled it. Since I spoke to AI Overlord there and ridiculed him, that he was saying that was it, and he gave me, well, I'll go ahead and show you. I'll give you something else. Because he said, when I said you've got a channel called On the Level, he then showed me and I said he was plagiarizing Bev's on the level.
What are you talking about? That's a link that you posted.
He then sent me I know. He sent me a list of all the channels called On the Level
stuff.
Yeah, because you pulled it. Since I spoke to AI Overlord and ridiculed him, he'd only got 4 views. They've changed the name or pulled the channel.
Elder, you were quiet for so long. Yeah. I guess you were scrambling around in the background trying to find the evidence. Is this the best you've got?
Fuck off, Ricksky. Fuck off, Ricksky.
Do you know what's funny, Elder Bear? I've done 2 shows.
Psychological nightmare.
Elder Bear, I've done 2 or 3 shows with Frontline Unfiltered. None of them were with AI Overlord or Necros. Yeah, so I don't know what this link is. I don't think Necros has ever been on Frontline Unfiltered, and I have never done a show with AI either. So I don't know what this is that you've got here, but this is nothing to do with Frontline Unfiltered.
Did you just make this up? Did you just generate this?
It's from the On the Level YouTube channel that 24/7 had, and now they've pulled.
You're You're a proper
Ever since
conspiracy
this,
theorist, Elder Bear. This is very strange.
yeah. Here we go.
And
This is weird.
Here we go.
It's so lucky that your name is on there as well, Roots. Like, that's just curious. What's going on?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
I've never done a show with Necros or AI.
He's got a conspiracy going. He's making stuff
Roots,
up.
where were
I
you
could
on the
probably go
22nd
through.
of November? Can you account for your location?
I'm
Do
gonna
you know
go.
what?
I'm gonna go look at Rumble and go look at Frontline. See if they have a show on the 22nd of November.
Yeah, this is 22nd of November's recent. Yeah, I haven't done a show. I haven't done a show for months, so
Yeah,
this is
it's
just
like that's really
hilarious.
close to freaking Thanksgiving. I really doubt that Miggy will be doing a show close to Thanksgiving. But I'll take a look. Let me check.
See, this is what happens, Elder Bear, when you just start jumping to conclusions and assuming flat earthers are this, that, the other. You start making stuff up. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? Eh? I don't want to be gaslit by you, Roots. Not by a twat like you.
You're doing it to yourself, mate. You're doing it to yourself.
I'll find you. Right?
I'd like to see you find a show with Necros on it.
No, because it's been pulled, because that's what sort of slimy little bastards you are. But since
Why
I
would
spoke
they
to
pull it?
AI Overlord, you had to change
Why?
the name of the channel.
But why? What would be their motive, Elder Bear? Like, why would they pull it?
Do you think I can
For this, in preparation for this conversation?
Is that what you're saying?
Do you think they pulled it because they thought you were going to question me about on the level?
They're changing it in real time in the background right now. They're changing it in real time.
Do you think that I concocted this and put your name on it, and this is just is a false thing? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think this is another channel.
Ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, there hasn't been a show for a couple months. And no, I don't think you concocted this. I think this is probably a random YouTube video of a 24/7 conversation. But you can't share the video to give us proof of whatever that is. Somebody's posted something. There's probably a conversation with me, AI, Necros, and AV, which we did have a conversation on 24/7, all four of us around that time. I remember.
Yeah, and that's
so if you could post the video
on the level channel. It was put out.
Yeah, and it put on the level channel is a random channel, dude. They're probably recording 24/7 videos.
Yeah. So what I'll say to this is this.
But it's nothing to do with Frontline Unfiltered, and that wasn't a show, mate.
Yeah. This is exactly what I faced when I chased the government in COVID. Get people like you who changed the narrative, who pulled channels
weird,
and tried to make
out. You
are
weird, Elder Bear. You are weird.
To make out that the dissident in the room is the problem. The anti-vaxxer, the one who didn't have the vaccination, they're the problem. That's what you're doing. Exactly the same thing.
What the hell?
All right?
Yeah.
Making a few more steps forward.
Though. You've been talking a whole lot. Like doing anyway. So what is it about the globe Earth that you're skeptical about? Go ahead and blather on about that for a while.
I'm not interested in the globe.
You're
you do all that. You do that.
At all.
Yes, I'm skeptical about a lot of things. But, that's what you do.
The globe model that you're skeptical about?
I don't see a globe. I don't see a spherical thing. So, I was like everybody else, I grew up with that idea in my mind without any knowledge about it. That's what I found when I came to Flat Earth. That, I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about. I have these images in my mind, these ideas in my mind, but I don't have anything to substantiate.
I swear.
Okay, I accept that. So,
Bevite, right?
Hang on. Don't be bigoted.
Question?
All right, I'll tell you this. Bev's, I like Bev. He's a good man. He's a good man.
And both hand in hand.
All right.
Like,
okay, this is what you do again.
My question,
has this got anything to do? Has this
got
fucking anything to do with this argument or not?
Yeah, no, it's just because
fucking gaslighting me and calling me a Bevtard.
No,
Stop it.
No, I didn't even
Stop
say
it. You're fucking weak. You're weak.
I didn't even say Bevtard. I
Fuck
said
off.
Bevite.
You're weak. All right?
No,
You're weak.
My question.
In reality, I'll fucking tell you the same, right?
There's a reason
Don't
for
do this to me.
There's a reason.
There's no reason at all.
There's a reason for
you
the question.
trying to be a prick.
Elder Bear. There's a reason for the question because Veb says that he has the real globe, and you say you don't believe the globe, but he says
Don't.
he has the real globe, and I thought you were more in line with Bev. That
Yeah,
was
well,
the question.
you're just thinking. You're just thinking.
No,
You
I'm
know, you're just
asking. I was asking
imagining.
because I
You just
swear.
imagine.
No, I swear you and Bev always goes into 20. You know, used to go into the 24/7 and talk about like the real globe.
Well, it has to be, yeah. Has to be, eh?
So is the you do believe in the real globe?
What's your globe?
I don't have a
Don't know what
globe.
yours is. Has to be the globe, doesn't it?
No, I don't have a globe. But I thought you and Veb always talk about the real globe.
No, I don't talk about the real globe.
Okay, so I mean, so
I
you
know what
don't.
I know what he means by it, though.
Well, I've been
For
trying to
me,
ask what does it mean by the real globe.
yeah,
Never got an
you're gonna
answer.
have to. Yeah, you're gonna have to realize that yourself. That's what truth is.
So
Yeah.
y'all
So
changed
stop
the
calling me a
definition of
fucking
the.
peptide, all right? Stop
Y'all
it.
changed.
It won't
I
help
ain't
you. It
called
won't
you a
help.
Bevtard, bro.
I think he
Yes, you
said a
did. You
Bevite.
I
just
He
did.
said
said
Bevite.
Bevite.
I
He said
Or
called
a
you a
bevite.
Bevite, man.
Bevite. I asked you if you
Either,
were a
either,
Bevite.
either. What's that? What's a bevite? What is a
That
bevite?
you pretty much follow Bev everywhere, bro. So,
You
You made up
subscribe
this
to
term. You made up
the
this
Bev
term.
clan.
Hang on. Because I have conversations with somebody, and I've had lots of conversations. I'm having a conversation with you. Am I a Rickskiite? Am I
dude,
a Larryite?
every time Bev is somewhere, you're there too, bro.
Bev,
Yeah, you
can
don't
I
like that, do
just
you?
make a
You don't
comment?
No,
like that.
it's a question, so
Yeah,
It's
that's
not a
why
Yeah,
I
problem,
kind of
dude.
yeah. I know it upsets you. I know it
no,
upsets you.
not
It's
at
not my
all.
problem. It's not my
Not at
Elder.
problem.
all. Well, that's why I thought that you thought they had the same belief because he speaks about it. You ask him any questions about it, so I'm guessing you were in the same belief that I mean, I that is kind of like of a what do you
Shall I link you to 24/7 and say you're a 24/7ite? Is that what it comes to?
did you
Because
see
you're
the
over
Do
there
that
a
flat
all
on
the
lot,
my thing
time.
there? You
or a
see the flat on
geoite,
my tag, bro?
That's
or
what you do all the
a Earth
time.
Awakeningite. You know, what should I do?
Did you see the
You do
tag? You
that.
see my name and you see my tag, bro? It says
No, I'm
flat,
not looking at
right?
the screen.
You know,
Yeah,
my
so
thing says flat.
24/7,
Yeah, you see,
24/7
because
tag.
it's flat.
Okay, so you're a 24/7ite.
Okay, whatever.
Oh, okay.
You say that anyway.
I don't
You
get
say that
mad, bro.
anyway.
I mean, I don't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yeah,
bother me.
but the difference between you and me is that I don't have the power, nor would I wish to have the power to silence you and to delete you and ban you. I would
Did I
never want
silence
that.
you?
All right.
Dude, you fundy mute people all the time. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? You've got your own technique.
What's fundy mute? Where'd you get that from?
It's a term they all say these days, but basically when you keep talking
Yeah, well,
through
you
people
use
constantly.
everybody else's term. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you
Well,
know,
I just heard them saying it, so I was like,
when
yeah. It's
I'll
filibustering.
tell
I
you,
can use a more technical term. You use filibustering. I get it.
yeah, okay, that's a politician's term, but I don't play by those rules. When you pull the carpet out from under my feet and lie and play games with me, all rules are off the table. Don't expect me to respect any of this stuff, okay? Because that
Elder
you
Bear,
pull
don't
it
act like the
out,
victim.
it's
Don't
gone.
act like the
I'm not a
victim. You're the
victim. No,
aggressor.
no. There
You
you
and
go.
Bev are the aggressors here.
There you
You
go.
come in.
There you
You
go.
come in. You
There
come
you
into
go.
24/7. Yeah, and you do. You come in. You start
I'm banned. I'm
attacking.
banned.
You
I'm
start. Yeah.
banned.
Well, you might be banned now, but this is traditionally what you would do. You would come in. And you would start attacking the flat earthers. You would start questioning people about technical things, and
The
I would say
sextant
that.
angle, like I was just doing, that one I just had,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
conversation
but
I
then
just had.
Yeah, like the one
you
you
would
just contradict yourself.
but you didn't listen.
Yeah.
You would claim victory and then start putting down the flat earthers, saying, or they're this, they're that, they don't know this, they don't know. So you guys have been traditionally the aggressors. I don't know why you're playing the victim so much now.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm neither.
All's fair, apart from
Yes.
you moaning about. Apart from you moaning about being called a Bevite, really, because this is what you've been doing to the 24/7 guys for years now.
I haven't been doing it for years. I haven't been around that long, but
You did. You said they were
I
all
just asked.
Nathan
But you have
Oakley'ites
been
or
doing it.
something.
I just
You're
asked.
always saying everyone's following Nathan Oakley's script and this, that, the other. You just have this obsession
Well,
with
you
Nathan
do.
Oakley.
You do until recently. You do until recently, and now you've changed the script. But you haven't told the soldiers, so then
But are
you have
you
to tell
following
your
Bev's
own.
script when you
No,
say "tis globe"? Aren't you just following Bev's script?
no. I think it's quite amusing.
Yeah, you're just following Bev's script, dude. You're doing the same thing. So I think we should just drop this and
You
just
know the Wig Snatcher
stop
Club.
playing.
You know the Wig Snatcher Club that you're part of?
A club. you
Yeah,
mean
that's what
a
it's
few of
called,
the
isn't it?
24/7 guys used to say the term wig snatching, yeah, back in the
Isn't
day.
that the same? Isn't that the same thing you're referring to? A club that you're
No,
part of, the people you
no,
agree with, or you have
It's
a
not.
common
It's not wig
interest with,
snatching.
or
It's
you
not
use
wig
the same
snatching
arguments?
anymore.
Isn't that what it's called?
It's we call it loosen your you gave up the ghost this time.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a
when's the last time
Miggyism.
you heard that term? When's the last time you heard that term, Elderbear?
Uh,
Got to have been
well,
years
like I
ago.
say,
It
Nobody
has to
well,
be
talks like
it
that
years.
doesn't
anymore.
matter. I know, because you have to change your rhetoric, because you've got to be media
Oh,
acceptable. I
here we go.
understand what you're
What's a wig
doing.
snatcher?
I
Does that mean like
understand.
when
I
you?
understand. You've now
Yeah,
changed it to
I've heard that in a
exposition.
long time.
Roots. You
What's a
changed the
wig
name to
snatcher?
You changed the name to exposition now, right? That's what you all say. We have an
Exposition?
exposition here. Yeah, it's a Miggy word.
What,
Miggy
an
wants to be
expose?
top. Miggy wants to
Okay.
be the media king. He wants to,
What's a wig
there's
snatcher?
money. I don't know. It's a flat earth term about, making somebody look, maybe making somebody look up. It's not mine. You can laugh. It's not mine. It's not
Elderbear, what
mine.
was you going to say? There's money. Was you about to
Roots.
say there's
Hang on.
money in flat
Roots.
Earth? Is that what you was
Roots.
about to say?
Roots. No, roots. Just explain to whoever was giggling there where the wig snatcher comes from. It's
I
not
know
mine.
where the wig snatcher comes from. What are you talking about?
So what are you laughing about? I haven't got
You
to
guys,
explain it.
is this
It's
like
not
a
mine.
is this like a transvestite term or something? What's going on here?
Ricksky.
No,
It's not mine.
it was just a
Don't attribute
term.
it
It
to
was just a
me.
term for exposing fronters and fakers, But people haven't really said that for a while. But Elderbear, was you about to say? Because I get the feeling you're annoyed, right? That you probably want more clout or something in the I don't know, whatever this community is. Do you think there's
Have you
money
seen
in
my
this or
YouTube
something?
channel, Roots? Have you seen my YouTube channel?
No.
Okay. That's how much attention I want. That's how many followers I want. Okay. I
Are
got
you
one
upset
follower,
that
I
you
think.
don't have enough?
No,
Are
I'm
you
not
upset
looking
about that?
for it. I don't want
Well,
followers. It'd be a
well, what is
dangerous
it you
position.
want though?
All
What's
right. I
your
was looking for the truth.
motive, Elderbear?
I told you, I came here looking for the truth, right? I came to the flat earth people.
That's what we're all
See
doing
if it,
here, Elderbear.
no, you're not.
We're
No,
all
you're
looking
not.
for
You're
the
shut
truth.
in. No, you're not. You're shut indoors and you're gatekeeping.
Not at all. You have a technical argument that you like to bring to the table, which I think is extreme, and I fundamentally don't agree that your points prove anything. I actually
What's
don't
my
think you have a
technical
position
argument? What is the technical argument I bring?
about level.
What about it?
Your
What
technical
one do I bring?
argument about level being possible on a curve is not a strong argument for anything. I don't believe, and I don't believe you add any clarity or help us in this pursuit of truth.
When did I
So
claim that? When did I claim that?
This is your guy's position. Your guy's
When?
position
What
is
guy?
that the
What
fact that
guy?
we
Whose
observe the
guy?
fact that
What guy? What guy?
Elderbear, the matter of fact is we observe the Earth to be
Who's
flat.
this
We don't
guy's
observe
position I hold? Who's this guy's position?
the position held by the flat earthers isn't a claim that the earth is any kind of shape, right? We don't
You
observe a
said
globe.
I have a technical a thing. What is it? You said it
Yeah,
was a level on a curve.
you have an argument about level which you think disproves that we experience the earth as flat and level. Okay? Now
I don't have that.
I disagree that you've made any points, you or Bev, that have made any points that can fundamentally prove or, show anything really. I think you've got a very extreme kind of argument that's about semantics, personally. That's why I don't personally buy into your arguments. But I'm still a truth seeker. I'm still a truth seeker, and my opinions can change, my beliefs change based on new information. But the information you guys have bought haven't changed anything for me personally, regardless of who I hang around with, and I'm pretty sure most flat earthers feel the same. Otherwise, you would have had more attention. But you don't have a position. You're kind of picking holes in every side, and we're all in this boat together. Nobody knows. Nobody can fundamentally prove anything. But what we are aware of is we don't observe a globe. There's a claim on the table. We live on a globe with an 8-inch per mile squared curvature rate, with an axial rotation.
Where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from?
That is the size of the Earth
Who
on the
gave you?
radius claim.
What is it?
The
A
Earth
half
is
a mile?
claimed to be a radius.
What is it? What is it? A half a mile?
What is what? How many feet of
Yeah,
curvature?
you've been here. You've been here 10 years. You should be able to tell me what it is at half a mile with that formula.
What? How many feet of curvature there should be
Yeah.
over half a mile?
Yeah.
I'd have to figure it out. I remember it's 66 feet over 10 miles.
Well, you just got 8 inches in a mile. What's it for half a mile?
What's the point of the question though?
Well, there we go. Let's not have any truth. Fine. It's okay. No,
I'll
point
figure it.
then.
I'll figure it out. I
You
can
don't-
figure it out. Hold on.
Yeah. You haven't thought about it before, though. Obviously.
For half a mile specifically, I don't remember exactly, but I can figure
Half
it
a
out.
mile. Yeah, half a mile.
2 inches.
If it, what's your point though? While I'm figuring this out, what's your point? So over a mile, we should be getting what, 67 feet of drop. So 8 inches over a mile. So yeah, we would half that. So yeah, what? 4 inches.
No,
What's your point
it's
though?
2 inches per mile squared.
Yeah. But you've been talking about it so long, you've never even used it. Never even applied it. Don't even know how to apply it, do you?
What's your
You don't know
point
how to
though? I
apply
don't
it, do you,
I don't apply it over half a mile. I apply it over longer distances. So over 10
Why
miles,
not?
we should have
Why not, though?
66 feet. Because we have
Why-
observations.
All right,
We have
all right.
observations. And 90% of your observations over long distance show no curvature rate of 8 inches per mile squared. So this is the fundamental
wait-
position here. We've got no direct evidence of the globe. Why are you picking fights with those who are pointing out we don't experience this globe in reality?
If you think that asking what the distance is at half a mile is picking a fight, that's where you're going wrong, mate.
But I've not made a
picking
claim.
a fight.
I've not made a claim
Nobody's
that
asking you to make a claim. I'm not asking you to make a claim.
mile doesn't. Listen, half a mile is not a credible way to to establish whether there is this curvature rate.
I think
So if you want to go up to 10 miles, but if you want to go up to 10 miles, 20 miles, 30 miles, then now we've got a serious problem for the globe. The serious problem for the globe is that there is no curvature to be measured.
No, you have a serious problem. Why are you always looking for a curve downwards?
Because there's a fundamental claim on the table that the elevation is dropping over distance.
Okay,
so over a long distance, over a long distance, we're not seeing any drop in elevation in the distance.
Okay, so an elevation change.
Right, no physical change. Now we've got all sorts of atmospheric effects that globers like to claim.
Hang on.
None of them match the globe.
But we do measure elevation changes.
Yeah, we have atmospheric effects and refraction, but we're not measuring.
Not atmosphere. We measure elevation changes. What surveyors
Not directly.
do? They measure.
Not directly.
They measure. How do they measure elevation change then?
You tell me. How do they measure elevation change?
Well, you said they don't. It's your claim.
Well, I'd like.
They don't do it.
No. Yeah, I don't know how to explain my negative. If you're making a claim they do directly measure elevation change, how do they do it?
Yeah, they measure.
And this is where we'll get into the problem, because I bet you'll talk about reciprocal zenith angles or something.
What are you talking about? Why are you putting me on a globe?
So how do we measure this elevation change then?
You measure it on the vertical datum. Changes on the vertical datum. Elevation change. But you're looking for an elevation.
Over water, are we directly measuring that elevation change?
You don't measure it over water.
Of course you measure it over water, because the land is we have topography on the land.
No, but you don't. You don't.
What are you talking about?
You. Don't make you. You don't.
Don't make this about me. This is about you having a problem with the position of a flat earther. This isn't about me personally.
No, you're looking for a curve downwards. So if it's if curve would be an elevation change, then you went in the distance to a lower elevation and you looked back You'd be looking upwards, wouldn't you? Looking up. So a higher
You'd be looking
elevation,
at
wouldn't you?
be looking at a hump. You'd be looking at a hump. You'd be looking
You
at
said it was a low.
the Earth.
You said it was a rise. It's like rise over run, a drop over distance. So if
Right,
you're at
and you
this
wouldn't be
point,
able to
if you're
see.
at
You wouldn't be able to see past a certain point, right? Like I said, at 10
again,
miles, at 10 miles, you wouldn't
well,
be able to see something that's at
that's
sea level.
another formula. That's another formula to work that seeing too far one. But you're looking for a curve down always. You're looking for a drop over distance from where you are. But when you go to that place that does show an elevation change, if it was a curve, and you went to that place and you look back, you'd be looking back from a lower elevation to a higher elevation. So where you're at, why are you not looking? Why are you always looking for a downward change of elevation? How do you know you shouldn't be looking for an upward elevation?
We don't see over water any change in elevation,
All right.
Elder Bear.
Well, it's not measured, is it? Who's measured that?
Well, this is it. We've got the laser tests. We've got long distance observations. How do you propose we measure it? Because you're the one claiming that there's. Are you claiming that there is an elevation change over water at 10 miles?
No, this is your claim that you've done it. I'm asking you about it.
No, I am not. You're making the positive claim that there. Are you making the claim that there is an elevation change over water at 10 miles?
No. I said that you haven't done that. I didn't make a claim about that.
It doesn't matter. I'm asking if you're not making the claim. There's no argument.
You're claiming there isn't one.
This is what I'm saying. You don't even have a position. You're just sitting here trying to pick holes in everybody's arguments when in reality you don't have any evidence. You've not done anything yourself, clearly.
I have, but if your arguments are strong, you'll have an answer for me. But when we get to the end,
the argument
you don't have an
stands for itself.
When we don't have an answer at the end,
there's a claim on the table. There's a claim on the table that we live on a ball, and that ball has a radius and a size very important to the heliocentric model. When we go out, we don't see or experience any of these claims in nature. So it's just a logical position here. Till there's direct evidence, it is the logical position. Now, if you have evidence of that change, please share. Of these claims, please share.
That was a good argument I heard in the beginning. That's what got me looking at what you're saying, that the Earth is flat. That's why I got investigating the flat to see if it is true, if I could fit that into my reality. So I'm not looking at the globe. I'm not looking for a curvature. I'm looking for the flat bit now. I'm not looking for curvature. I'm looking for the flat bit that tells me there isn't any curvature. When you present me with something and I go along that line of thought and I have questions at the end and I ask you about it, and then I get bullshit, and then it can't be, it's your argument doesn't hold up. That's how it works for me.
Ironic. I feel this is a bit ironic because you're actually giving me bullshit. I'm asking you, where do we see the change in elevation? Over water? You said no. Well, then all I can say is, well, welcome to flat Earth then, unless you've got a claim to make. Because that's the position of a flat Earther.
No, I didn't say there was or there wasn't a change over water. I said you hadn't done it. You came up with said that you'd done it with lasers. When I look at those examples, I don't find any relationship between the beginning and the start point and the end point. I don't find any relationship between the laser being measured over the water. I don't see any something that would substantiate that the laser is effective. It isn't affected by the water when it's over there. You see,
why is it not relevant? Because we're hitting targets.
Because they don't use lasers. And what's the relationship between the start and the end point?
It's both. It's line of sight. Yeah, lasers can't. Unless you're claiming that the laser is wrapping around the ball due to some terrestrial refraction, which would be a global claim. There's no argument here. We're hitting lasers line of sight, perpendicular to sea level, and we're seeing no elevation change. It's the best we can do. It's the best we can do. Unless you've got a better test or a better argument, there's nothing you can say really to that. We're not seeing any elevation change. It's as simple as that.
Can I ask a question? Are you claiming that there's no refraction in the atmosphere?
Me? No, I'm not claiming there's no refraction, but a laser minimizes refraction.
No, it doesn't. It's light. And by the way, a normal laser spreads out between 3 to 6 feet per kilometer. That makes it a bit difficult using a laser.
Right, but when
We're
we
not gonna
use lasers, we can hit targets line of sight, cross perpendicular to the water, and we're not really seeing any deviation. So there's a claim on the table that there's an 8-inch per mole squared curvature
So you've
rate here.
taken, but you have the lapse rates for those days. You've done that laser experiment.
You can look at the FE core laser experiments. They're pretty thorough. They provide a lot of data.
Yeah. So what about all the other measurements that you've done? I mean, everything within geodesy, like everything from geodetic surveying to VLBI, and so on and so forth. Why is it all those measurements comes up with a spherical Earth?
Because they're not direct measurements.
They are not.
They're not direct measurements. No, you're calculating. You're calculating using a coordinate system. You're plotting these points on a sphere. Yeah, you are.
Okay, so VLBI is calculated. Yeah. You need a bit of calculation due to the delay of the radio signals. Yes.
Specifically said direct. You need direct, and when it comes to direct measurement, we're not measuring any deviation. No drop over distance over water.
Laser test is a really bad test due to the problems with refraction and the fact that the laser spreads out over distance.
It has. Yeah, that's an issue.
It does.
Yeah, you're right, Stefan. It's an issue. That's why I discount it. I don't think it's reliable. Well, I've got to go and do some shit now. But Roots, you're back on your bread and butter stuff. Your everyday business now with Stefan.
I've never heard anyone say that.
Yeah, nobody said that. I also said it's not a model. We're not going on the basis that flat Earth is a model. We're just pointing out there is no globe in reality. Simple.
I'm not looking at the globe. I'm looking at the flat Earth claim. You paint a model when you say 69 miles to 1 degree and circles of equal elevation and the equator's a circle. Now, you might not have said it. You probably have. You may not say it now, but people have said that. And when I've questioned that, and said the numbers don't add up for me, I've asked why. There has been no further explanation. There's been a lot of, banning and deleting because I've asked.
Yeah, so why do you require hand-holding?
I don't.
Are you not an adult?
Hand-holding.
You do require hand-holding. That's exactly what you're saying right now.
Really? I'm not holding your hand. I don't need your hand. No, I don't.
Then what are you doing here? Because you can look out the window and see reality. So what? Again. Why are you here trying to tell people that they can't tell you about reality? This makes no sense.
No, I'm saying that the reality that they're offering me as an explanation doesn't add up.
But you came here. Remember, you look out the window, you see reality, and then you're going into a place where there's people that don't agree with what you see. And then what are you doing? You're telling them that they can't explain reality. That's all you're doing.
No.
You're asking for people to contradict your worldview.
No. They're the flat earthers. I'm not a flat earther. So I came to the flat earthers to ask for their opinion and their worldview to see if it made any sense. So I could talk to my neighbor and say, yeah, I get it, man. Or fuck me, yeah, they're right.
Yeah, but why? Why would you want to talk to your neighbor about it? That's so weird.
Why not?
Because he wants to sum flat Earth up into a model, and he wants to try and badger or bait someone into making claims like it's a model. And I've said several times. This isn't a model. This isn't a model argument. We're just arguing that in reality, the claim on the table, the model, the globe model, isn't visible. It's not. It doesn't exist in reality. That's the only position that I've held. The only position I've held. It's a logical position. There is no curvature and there is no motion of the Earth. You seem to claim that there is. I don't know why you seem to claim that there is, and then claim you're not a glober. But you just sound like a glober, dude. But you don't have any direct evidence of any of this curvature or motion. That's it. That's my only position.
The difference is you're dealing with the globe and I'm not. I'm dealing with the flat people and what they are trying to, what they say and what they've said. Because I didn't.
Yeah, but who cares about the
this.
people? See, this is the weird thing, right? So you look out your window, you see the Earth curve, and now you're going to log into a server and you're going to have people challenge what you believe. That's so weird.
Right. Listen to. I'll give you a real life. Hang on. I'll give you a real life example. All right. Now I can fix things. All right. I can fix cars. All right. That's one of the things I can do. Fix cars. But I have a bit of a blind spot about electrics and electronics, particularly in this day of CAN bus systems, right? In cars. And it's a bit confusing. You need a scanner. You need a scanner to scan the car to be able to understand the system. Now, I've got a scanner and I can scan a car, but I don't understand what some of those things mean. So I'm having to learn. Now I've got an oscilloscope so that I can look at the waveforms of the sensors in the car in order that I can understand it. Now, I don't know that information. A little while ago, I didn't know that information, but I realized that I've got a blind spot and I don't want to pay other people to do something that if another man can do and I can learn it, that I'll do myself and save myself a lot of money with it. So I had to go to other people who had the knowledge to learn from them so that I can get a baseline of something that I can then put to some experience. And then when I go out and test it and I find it, yes, that waveform that they show me on the oscilloscope tells me that I need a new spark plug or a crank sensor. I'm sure that that's what I haven't wasted my money. It's not the wiring that's at fault. It's the sensor. Okay. And then I'll have experience. I'll have a posteriori experience. So I went to the people who had the knowledge that I didn't. They claimed the earth was flat. So I went to the people who claimed that. And I listened very intently and carefully. And then I found some discrepancies.
You do a lot of talking for all that listening.
So I approached those people to ask about the discrepancies and problems began. Then I became this kind of character that was a bit unhinged to them and was getting deleted and banned. And so that's been my experience.
So you don't handle information well, okay?
I've used my knowledge today because my neighbor had his car fixed and the guy lied to him at the garage. And I looked at his car and analysed what the problem was. And I was just talking with him because I just had to pick him up from the garage. He took his car there and the guy said, "Oh no, it's this bit that needs fixing. You just put new bits in." Yeah, but the computer doesn't recognise it because it's a cheap part. It's a cheap glow plug. It doesn't recognise that. I said, "Who soldered all the wiring in there? Who resoldered the wiring?" Oh. He blushed because he fucked up.
Just jabbering. You're just jabbering. It's such a false analogy. It's a false analogy, dude.
It's not false. I looked in detail at things.
It's rambling, dude.
I look for detail. I'm looking at the flat Earth for detail. I'm not looking at the globe.
You're looking for a model, and you get frustrated because we don't claim a model.
I don't need a model. No, I don't.
If we had a model, you'd love it.
Yeah, so you're not actually looking at reality. Again, what you're doing is you're coming here and talking to people, and you're arguing with your beliefs.
You can't deal with some questions.
But hang on.
You have questions about what?
So you're the poor flat earthers.
See, so the only questions I've ever heard you ask is, where's your map?
I've never asked about a map. When did I ask about a map? I got a map. Listen, these poor victim flat earthers who claim the earth is flat, and when you come and ask them some questions about it, they bleat that you're asking them some questions they can't fucking answer.
Questions about what?
They're
probably irrelevant.
Elder Bear was mentioning 1 degree per 69 miles.
Yeah, who cares about that?
How do you explain? Yeah, that's observed a measure in reality.
Yeah, but who cares about that? Like, really? So what? You're measuring something, and now what?
Asking for.
That's what? Stefan, not even you, Stefan, can get in.
Yeah, because you don't want to address it. Is it because you can't
address what? Because there's some kind of claim out there, and then now
1 degree for 69 miles.
What about it?
I'm a stop.
What about it?
How do you explain that on a flat Earth?
The sun moves. So the sun moves 1 degree per 69 miles?
No, we're not talking about the sun.
And what are you claiming?
We were talking about Polaris.
Hold on, man.
Polaris, not the sun. Polaris is not the sun.
Okay, so what's doing what? Are you saying that things in the sky are doing stuff?
No,
yeah, you're going to make it up. You don't know about
when you
it
measure
now.
the elevation angle to Polaris as you move away.
Oh, you
from
have.
it. Per
So you've
69 miles.
Wait, hold on.
It changes by 1
hold
degree.
Hold on. Have you measured it?
Yes, I have.
No, you
Yes,
haven't.
I have.
Yes,
no,
I
you
have.
haven't.
Yes,
you
I
definitely
have.
have not. I guarantee you guys have not traveled from north to south measuring
You said,
Polaris
have you measured an
1
angle
degree 69 miles. I guarantee you,
You
haven't.
said-
You've probably
you
heard this
said,
on the internet somewhere. I'd like
you
to see all of your records of you measuring this. Please, I'll wait. Don't speak until you bring this.
Okay, you said
I want
you
all
have
of your
never
measurements. I want all of your records.
This
Please,
is the
come
flat
on.
Earth.
I want
This is
video
what the flat
evidence
Earth
of it.
does.
Now, see, here's the
Talks over
thing.
everybody.
So you
You
can't,
don't have an
present
answer.
what
You're
you're
fucking
asking
pathetic.
questions about that you
Pathetic little
claim to
flat
have
earther.
measured. So you say things are going on, right? But you haven't actually verified these things that are going
Right
on.
over the target.
And now you're
right
asking
over
questions.
the target. Here we are. Right over the
we
target.
did this in the late 80s in our astronomy club. We traveled from 62 to more than 69 degrees north and had 4 stops. And we measured the elevation angle to Polaris. And when we did the calculation, it came out like 1 degree per 111 kilometers. And
Okay, so
we
you
are not the
measured
only ones.
the star in the sky changing. And?
The elevation angle.
And?
How does that conform to a flat Earth?
What do you mean? That we're talking about the Earth. You're talking about the things in the sky. So
Have you seen the
when you say flat Earth, right? Hold on.
Have you seen the nautical mile markers on the ground?
Hold on. When you say, man, shut up, dude. When you say flat Earth, you're saying Earth. You're not saying flat sky. Think about that.
And Nathan says flat sky.
You're just measuring an angle to a point in the sky.
Yeah, so things in the sky don't have anything to do with things on the ground.
From the GP of the star.
I would like you to show me the correlation between the ground and the sky. Thank you.
You can use a scale map. It's done. You can use a scale map.
A map?
Yep.
So someone made a map and now
using
what?
The stars.
Now what are you
just
doing?
Using the stars. Even
How
you're
did
just
you
using
measure?
the stars.
You didn't use the stars to measure the distance.
So someone else did something.
Hang on.
And now you're asking questions about it.
Roots. When you did your laser test across the lake, did you measure the distance with the stars?
Well, of course, you have to use the coordinate system.
Where did you get the 31 miles from?
But you're missing the point, Elder Bear. The coordinate system isn't. This is circular reasoning. The coordinate system isn't proof of curvature. Yeah, if you're using longitude and latitude. But if you're using longitude and latitude, you're using a curved, a globe coordinate system, right?
How far is it? How far is it to Nottingham?
Yes, the coordinate system works. Great, it works.
How far is it?
But that doesn't mean that the Earth is a ball.
I didn't say it was a ball.
How does a spherical?
You're looking for the relation between 69 miles and 1 degree. It can be measured. It can be measured on the ground. If you look at the nautical mile markers, they're on the ground. Roots, they're on the ground.
They're not. Yeah, based on the
nautical mile markers on the ground. Yeah, 6,000.
Based on the stars. Right, based on the stars. Correct.
Yeah, an angle to Polaris in relationship to a distance on the ground.
Yeah, that's fine. But this is an element of perspective,
69,
right? So perspective needs to be taken into account.
69 miles is a physical measurement.
Explain this, why it's due to perspective, please.
Because we are not seeing in a linear fashion. We are seeing stars not in... how are you confirming that these stars are in their actual positions?
We measure in relation to the fashion. We measure in a linear fashion. 69 miles.
Right, and when you do that,
measurement.
Use your coordinates system.
On the ground. On the ground.
No, you use distance. You don't have to use coordinate system at all. You can just use distance.
Yeah, and how you
measure the elevation angle at different distances from Polaris, and you see what you come out with.
And we're using the same coordinate system to establish the distances.
Along the ground.
That's what I'm telling you. You don't need the coordinate system. You can drive and measure the distance in a north-southerly direction.
It gets a lot more difficult over long distances.
You've never done it.
Between countries, for example. It gets a lot more difficult, and there's a lot more technical issues involved when you try and actually confirm distances not using the coordinate grid system.
You measure an angle to Polaris,
you don't
travel
think, like,
69 miles, you measure another angle, and you check.
You can go for like 30 miles and do the measurement. And
So if you're like in a large building,
less
right,
than half a degree.
If you're in a large building and there's like a single light on, like above you, and if you move and you measure the angle, does the angle change? Does it change?
Yeah, if you move away from that light on a flat surface, the further away you go for each degree in changing elevation angle, the further away you have, the further you have to go between each point. That is one of the major problems for a flat Earth when it comes to elevation angles on Polaris.
Wait, so you're saying it does do that, right? So in a building, if you move away from a light, the angle changes, right? The farther you get away.
Yeah, but the problem is...
Okay, obviously that's a very good explanation for what we're seeing in reality. There's lights in the sky, and when you move away from them, the angle changes. It's very easy.
If you do that on a flat surface, okay? If you do that on a flat surface, as the further away you get from that light, the example of the building you were talking about, the further you have to go between each angle. But on the Earth, when you do Polaris, you do exact same distance between every degree. On a flat surface, you would have to travel further and longer and longer between each degree.
But do you know what the star is? You know what Polaris is?
It doesn't matter. It's a point in the sky.
Actually, it does matter.
No,
it matters what it is, because
in the sky.
Either you're seeing the actual thing that's producing the light, or you're seeing a reflection of the thing that's producing the light. So if you're only seeing a reflection, then you actually aren't measuring it itself. So if you think that you're actually measuring the same distance, it's probably because you're just measuring the reflection.
So now you're making up some sort of reflection. What's causing this reflection?
Making up a reflection? You can't even tell me what the Polaris is. You said it doesn't matter. You said it doesn't matter.
Star. It's a Cepheid variable star. It's a three-star system. Well, three stars are
here's the thing. If you don't know what the
stars
are, how do you know how the stars should behave?
What do you mean behave?
If you don't know what the stars are, how do you know how they should behave? We know what the stars
are. They are a collection of gas, and there's a fusion reaction in them.
Mouse,
and
we can used for centuries. Used for centuries to navigate across this wherever we are.
Right, you see them.
Used for centuries. Okay,
but what are
the distances? The distances have been used.
It does matter.
How do you going to go and occupy another country then?
How does it matter?
How are you going to go and measure something if you don't know what it is?
Hang on.
Because they've been made. The measurements have already been made. And that's how they navigate.
Clearly they haven't, though, because the measurements kind of change, don't they? The measurements aren't even static when you measure it.
What do you mean they're not static?
Does the distance stay the same the farther you move away from Polaris?
There's an angle that correlates with the angle to Polaris that correlates with the distance along the ground.
Yeah, which indicates that it's not a physical object.
It doesn't matter. Object? It's just a point.
Because if it was a physical object, the distance would be increasing as you moved away, right? That's what you said.
It's a light up in the sky. It doesn't matter what
it
is.
But it does matter what it is.
There's a almost static point up in the sky, which is Polaris. It deviates like less than half a degree.
You say an almost static point?
So no, but hang on. So that's the example.
When you don't have the 90 of the GP, that's why. Because it's not 90.
But what does that matter? All you do is measuring a distance across the sky, ground, and you measure how the angle changes.
Can you measure the distance to a rainbow?
Oh, God. Here we go. More hippie stuff.
Jesus Christ. So now,
I don't know why Jesus Christ and God always come into this when questions are asked. See, it's really weird how you guys hate questions, but you guys want to ask questions.
It's been used for thousands of years.
Can you measure the distance to a rainbow? From flat
earthers to globe earthers, doesn't matter who's on the boat, who's in the plane.
Okay, so one cannot, he's running away. Can you measure the distance to a rainbow? Anybody?
No, well,
but you're not measuring the distance to the rainbow, or you're not measuring the distance to the star.
The answer is no.
You measure the distance from the star's GP to you.
So you can't measure the distance to a rainbow.
How far off the star is, or whatever that light point is, does not matter.
Stefan, one thing. Did you say measure distance to rainbow?
Yeah, that's what we want.
No, that was
distance measurement to a rainbow and how wide it is. I want all the technical plans of that rainbow over there.
Let me finish. I cannot measure it directly because we know it's an optical illusion. Like, there's no question there. What I can do, I can measure my distance.
Wait, but it shouldn't matter.
No.
Remember, because Polaris could also be an optical illusion, but you said it doesn't matter.
It's pretty simple. You know how? I can measure my distance to it, roughly.
To a rainbow.
A rainbow, yes.
You think so?
Oh,
can you give us a breakdown of that, please?
And I measure directly.
I know it's measuring the distance to the horizon.
I can measure my distance where it's sort of origin, i.e. in the rain. When I say it's rain coming down, I can kind of estimate my distance to rain forming.
You can guess.
It's in trigonometry. I can.
I mean, everyone can guess.
What's your angle to the rainbow?
No, it's not guess.
It's about over there, approximately.
You can calculate your distance. You can measure the distance.
Are you going to use triangles?
It's originating from. Okay.
You got to use 42 degrees, right?
For
the rainbow?
Yeah. It's distances are over tangent of 42 degree. And of 42
You might actually be able to get it. But like when you go over to that location, do you get the rainbow? Do you find the rainbow there?
Instead of rainbow. Okay, I didn't say if you listen, I said it's the rainbow is originating from the rain, correct? Well, part of it is the rain is coming down and then it hits the light.
Wait, are you saying the rain is producing the rainbow?
Oh my god! What is rainbow? Out of interest. Anyone?
Is he unaware that he can make a rainbow with a garden hose?
Thank you. This was the reflection. The reflection of water. But anyway.
Wait, so what's making the rainbow then?
I don't know what you think rainbow is. Someone just said,
what do I think it is?
The water hose in your garden.
I mean, but we can see. Yeah, but we can see a rainbow, right? But what is it really, though?
Someone just said,
"What do you think it is?"
In the voice says, go to your garden on a sunny day, water hose, just point it upwards, and you kind of can produce a tiny rainbow.
Yeah, but the water isn't the thing producing the rainbow. The rainbow is acting as the screen.
It's
a combination between light, reflection in the raindrops, and the water. That's what's causing the light. Rainbow.
The light from the sun is reflecting in the raindrops to make a rainbow.
Yeah, water droplets, rainbow. Yeah, very much. Yeah. What do you think rainbow is actually? I'm curious now. What do you think rainbow is?
Well, I mean, clearly it's the colors of the sun. I mean, how else do you get all those colors unless the sun is actually making those colors?
That was not the question. The colors was not. What is rainbow? Was the question. You asked what is
rainbow.
I told you. What is rainbow?
It's the colors of the sun.
Rainbow is
you mean the light of the sun is spread out in the different colors?
Prism.
That's I've never in my life seen one color produce many.
When you look at the sun, does it look sort of one color? When you look at the sun, does the color seems quite, let's say, in the middle of the day? Does it look like it's just one color?
Well, yeah, looks like it. That's only because the brightest one is probably drowning out the other one.
That's a mix.
But as it goes on the horizon, as it goes farther down on the On the horizon, though, you can see the different colors because there's shorter spectrums.
Yeah, and the refraction as well,
Yeah.
just like what happens in the raindrops.
So that means
Since
the
raindrops
is producing all the colors that make the rainbow.
Yes, it does. It's just different wavelengths of light.
Yeah. So it's not one color; it's all the colors.
White light, like from the sun. The sun is actually white and not yellow.
No, the sun is not white.
Yeah, it is.
It's all the color. Again, it's all the colors because you can't have a white light produce
when you split,
different colors.
Yeah, but it looks white because all the colors are mixed together when we see it. But if you use like a prism, you're splitting the different wavelengths, so then you see the colors.
Now that's interesting though. How is the sun producing like blue and purple and green?
It's just creating different wavelengths of light.
It's just doing it. It's just doing it
by fusion. Yes.
By fusion.
Yeah, fusion inside the sun.
Inside the sun.
Yeah, creates the light that we see.
What? Are you serious?
Yes.
Have you seen? Okay, I have a question.
Yeah, how did you even figure that out?
Have you seen Prism?
How did you even figure that out?
Okay, hang on. Have you seen Prism?
Hold on. Don't ask me a question, man. How did you even figure that out?
Why it's fusion?
Yeah, how did you figure out what you just told me?
You can look at the total of the electromagnetic spectrum and compare that to hydrogen bombs tested on Earth.
What?
Or like the French,
like really, man.
The French Energy Bureau, who had just recently had a fusion reactor running for almost half an hour.
I don't want junk. I want you to tell me how you figured that out, not by some crap you read on the internet.
There's quite a few scientific papers regarding the studies of the sun.
Scientific papers. So someone else, what they do? Stare at the sun and then they write
so now we're back to that. Yeah, okay, I know. That's funny. Why is it always?
It's really weird. Hold on, man.
Hang on. Always answer me. You haven't done it yourself. It's not valid.
Out. Why can't you tell me how you figured it out? Why do you always have to rely on someone else?
Why
and he doesn't want to admit it.
Always cop out to use that as an excuse. If you haven't done it yourself, it's not valid. Why is that argument used so often?
I mean, that's the new standard. So if you haven't done it yourself, you're pretty much a loser. That's how it works. So if you can't figure it out yourself and you're letting other people tell you what life is, you're a loser. That's the new standard.
No, wait. I'm not gonna let you get away with this one.
Yeah. Get away with what?
I cannot believe a grown person does not.
Come on, man. Get your words straight.
Rainbow? Come on. No. Come on. What is rainbow?
I told you, it's all the colors of the sun.
It's all the colors. Oh my God. What color is the sun?
All those colors that you see in the rainbow.
And more.
You see how simple it is? I mean, there's nothing you can even say or do. All you can do is.
No, I'm just trying. You know what? This argument is so silly. I'm trying to.
There's no argument. See, this is the thing, right? So you think, hold on, you think that when people talk, they're arguing. But I'm just giving you information as to what I see, and to what you see, and to what everyone else sees.
What you see, it just because you see it that way, it means it's that. Is that correct? Is that your logic? Because you see it in such a way, it means it's that's.
No, that's just what it is.
What's the problem with what he said?
In a way.
What's the problem with what he said? Do you have an issue with that? It's sunlight, yeah? That's basically what he said. What's your problem with that?
No, I have a problem because he says sun. So the rainbow we see, the colors we see. Even though Stefan explained it quite nicely, he said no.
He just told you it's sun. It's the sunlight.
It's the sunlight.
Do you disagree?
We don't call sunlight from the sun.
He wants to. See, this is the thing, right? People have been trained to want to argue and debate everything.
Yes, we are.
But hang on. Do you agree or disagree that we get different colors from the sun in sunlight?
Who are you asking?
Everyone, basically.
I mean, I've already answered it.
So we're getting sunlight reflected, and we get the colors of the rainbow.
Yeah,
Is
due
there a
to
problem with
different
that?
angles. Yeah, imagine if you can foresee like a spherical water droplet and light going into it and then being reflected back, just like a prism, basically. So it's spread out. And when you see the different colors, those are different angles and different
Now, you
wavelengths.
know, now hold on. Now, you know that every time that whenever a rainbow is produced on the rain is not always perfectly spherical or however you want to see it. Sometimes it's blowing to the side. Sometimes it's, blowing at it. So the raindrops, are usually deformed. So, I don't understand how rain, that doesn't hold its shape can produce the same shape every time.
Usually the rainbows are in the after effect of the rain and the mist and the humidity that lasts after.
Right. And that water isn't uniform. It doesn't hold a certain shape.
Always a bubble.
But it
It's always rain.
produces the same shape.
It's always water droplets.
And you got
Always
double
one shape.
rainbows as well.
So how many raindrops is there in a rain shower, do you think?
Oh, come on. This we're going into the weeds here now.
Yeah, it's already got into absurdity. It can't handle the truth.
No.
Anyway,
you
with
can
the garden hose example, you can measure the angle from the camera to the garden hose and see where the raindrop is in relation to the rainbow, which is coming from the sun through the raindrops, which are in your garden hose, which are almost spherical droplets. So why are you avoiding the garden hose example?
Great example.
Because you claimed you can't measure to a rainbow, but the rainbow's right in front of us with the garden hose, and we know how far the garden hose is away. So you lied.
Yeah, okay.
It goes back to my previous point when I said as an example, we are not saying, we know that rainbow is an optical illusion, but again we can kind of measure the distance from where it's formed, i.e. in this instance, let's say a garden hose is an example, or to the cloud, which is the rain is originated. Cloud is originated from. That's all I said. But he says no, it's impossible. I think his point of reasoning, his reasoning was because he wanted to get back to say because Polaris is a light in the sky, therefore we cannot measure it.
Stefan, let's be honest, that they're not lying. They're just not lying. In the nicest possible way.
So even if Polaris was a reflective raindrop, we could get an angle to it.
Yeah, well, you're missing the point. It's based on your observer's position. It's not an actual place in the sky. It's not somewhere you can put on a map and say the rainbow is here, is it?
Look, guys, I found a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Well, whether it's the actual
it's just a perspective issue, isn't it?
Not perspective.
Regardless of it.
It is, and that's the point of a lot of these arguments. It comes down to, perspectively, things we see in the sky are based on the observer's position. No way reflects whether the ground is curving or rotating. And if it sounds like I'm repeating, it's because the point isn't landing.
Okay, Rich, I'm going to agree with you because you said reflects and repeats on the observer's position. So no one sees a rainbow in the same place.
Like I said, it's based on the observer's position. The orientation of the rainbow is based on the observer's position. Well, are they in different locations?
Depends on where you're standing. If you're 200 meters away, it's going to be 200 meters different than me seeing it to you.
Right, it's like the sun's light itself. Depending on the observer's position, there are observations done on either side of a lake where the sun rays are hitting the ground at different angles and different positions, just based on the observer's position being slightly different.
Well, no, the sun's light is a little bit different because it's like saying that you're at a concert and you're hearing the sound from your mate that's 50 meters away differently than what you're hearing.
No, that would be different. That we're talking about objects in the sky that we don't even know where the original position of the sun is. Whereas with a sound at a concert, we can actually determine where that sound's coming from. But when it comes to the sun, we base the sun on our observer's position. I have no way to validate the actual position of the sun.
Just like speakers on a stage, we can see where the sun is.
It's different. It's a false analogy because the sun itself is based in a different position for everybody, based on the observer's position. So you will see the sun in a slightly different position. Yeah. And it's just, I mean, if you look at the sun and you close one eye and then you open the other eye, close the original eye, sun shifts slightly.
Oh shit!
So this is all a matter of perspective.
You
perspective. That's called parallax.
You didn't just prove parallax just then, did you?
Yeah, that's
no,
parallax.
But I'm just saying there's a lot when it comes to taking observations of sunlight. There's a lot of perspective that isn't being taken into account.
So when he holds his finger out in front of his face, he's got a real finger with his right eye and an apparent finger with his other eye. Mm.
Uh-oh.
You're missing the point. The point is that there are multiple perspective issues here that are not being addressed. But when it comes to the lights in the sky, especially the sun, we have validation that the sun is in a different position for each observer.
So
that's the point.
What other points? We've got parallax. That's the main point. What other ones are there?
Well, like I said, you don't see in a linear fashion. Depending on the distance, where the sun is in the sky, it's going to be the position of the sun is going to change based on your distance from it. We have no way to verify that distance, but what we have is a non-linear view of the world around us, and things in the distance act in a certain way, converge into your horizon, drop in the sky. This is a phenomenon of optics. If none of this is being taken into account, what's the point in discussing the sun in relation to the shape of the Earth? It doesn't give you any indication that the Earth is a spinning, curving ball.
Are you talking about if I could use something to look at with relation to the sun, and then by the time you look at it a couple of minutes later, it's moved because the Earth's rotated?
No, the Earth. You'll need to prove the Earth is rotating before you can make that claim, Jazza. This is Jazza, isn't it?
Yeah. Just look at sunrise, sunset. You wake up every morning, you go to sleep every night. It's not science and rockets, big dog.
Yeah, you can assume that, but you've got no evidence that the ground is rotating. You can't prove the ground is rotating, so you have to make an assumption because you've got a model.
I would assume the Earth was flat if the sun didn't change angular size and more specifically didn't go below the horizon and rise above the horizon at sunrise. Then I would assume the Earth's flat.
You don't need to make assumptions. You don't need to make assumptions, Jazza. Jazza, you don't need to make assumptions. Like I said, when it comes to the optics of the sky,
I'm not making assumptions.
When it comes to the optics of the sky, you're clearly leaving out some important arguments. Either way, it's no way to determine whether the Earth is rotating and curving underneath your feet at a rate of 8 inches per mile squared. You're going to need some direct evidence for that.
Did you not hear that I didn't make any assumptions? No, I did. I assumed.
You did.
Okay. I assumed that if the sun is doing thus, and the moon, ironically, is doing this in the morning and doing that at night, I would safely assume that it would mean that the Earth's curved. If it was flat, and I'm assuming again, if the Earth was flat, I would not see what I see. Henceforth, logically thinking...
It's a terrible argument, Jazza. It's like you haven't been here for the last hour.
No, it's like
weird, though. I mean, you clearly you figured it out, though.
Yeah, if a light is close to you, like the moon, as it goes away, it would shrink to a tiny, tiny star that's still above the horizon. It doesn't do that.
Exactly. Thus forth, my argument is logical.
Yeah, but do you even know what the things in the sky are?
Yeah, you can measure distance.
Okay, so if you don't know what the things in the sky are, how do you know how you're supposed to behave?
That's your assumption. It doesn't really matter.
How they are supposed to behave. It's how they have been measured to behave over the last, 6,000 years.
Measured to behave. What?
Yeah.
Measured to behave.
Yeah.
They've all done the same thing. Every single one of them.
Okay, does that tell us what they are?
That's how Stonehenge works.
It's a silly presumption. We know the same sort of thing happens with objects in the distance, with mountains. We know that there is a convergence. There is a rate in which things converge into the horizon. We know things drop in the distance. So we know this phenomenon is a part of optics. Now, when you're dealing with things up in the sky, well above the atmosphere, God knows what they're in, what the stars are. But the point is to then make a leap of logic that doesn't involve perspective, that doesn't take into account this is what we observe in optics, and then to make all these claims where you have no verification of what these things in the sky is. That's what it is. It's just an assumption. And you can have an assumption, Jazza. Well, nobody's saying you can't have an assumption. If that's what you want to believe, that's great. But it's a belief.
No, Roots, I don't have an assumption. You have an assumption that you think you believe.
If Jazza takes his torch and walks further away from me, his torch gets smaller. The moon, however, doesn't get smaller. From the high noon...
Is the moon a torch?
You obviously don't get scale.
Is the moon a torch?
You don't get scale.
You're saying the moon doesn't obey perspective.
Is the moon a torch? Yes or no?
Of course the moon's not a torch, you dumb fuck.
Okay, then what is the moon? What is the moon?
It's the light that you see in the sky at night. It has phases.
The light that you see in the sky at night. That's it.
Yeah,
the light that you see. Okay, the light that you see in the sky at night. Okay. Does that imply physical objectivity?
Hang on.
It has a size,
93 million miles
it doesn't
away.
shrink to a small little star, does it?
Miles away, and the sun's light shining on it. North Sea, you can't see truth.
What? Those were a lot of... I didn't hear what you said because you were trying to explain something that probably isn't true.
Of course, you didn't hear anything because you think the Earth's flat.
No, this is just silly. We have effects in the atmosphere, and we get things like the supermoon, where the moon appears way bigger than it should. So there's a lot to the atmosphere. There's a lot to the moon.
Do you know how often the supermoon happens?
But it doesn't.
Does that mean that gravity is stronger on that day or something?
No, not at all. The moon is actually...
Why did you laugh like that? That was a weird laugh.
Yeah, it is funny because that's the difference between a total eclipse and an annular eclipse, where the moon doesn't block the entirety of the sun.
Well, no, I'm talking about like when the sun appears really large. Like is gravity like higher on that day or something? Because the moon is apparently closer, right? Because it's supposed to be like a physical object, right?
The moon is a physical object. It bounces back radio waves and lasers.
Answer the question.
So what's causing it to get like really close? Is it that gravity is increasing on that day or something?
Well, that's worthy of an investigation, but it won't be a flat Earth investigation.
So you just can't answer the question. So the only thing you can do is attempt to make some kind of insult. Bravo! What a chump.
Anything but atmospheric conditions and optics, right? Anything but those. I love it.
Yeah, the perspective doesn't magnify the moon.
It's funny how when you can't answer a question, the only thing you can do is try to attack.
No, he's not. He was trying to answer. So he said,
It's
"One
like
moon
he's
is
six.
closer." Okay. How do you think moon goes around Earth? You think it's just one fixed circular
What?
path?
The moon? Did you say the moon goes around the Earth?
Yes.
How do you know the moon goes around the Earth?
Okay, that was not my question. Stop diverting us. Asking, you know how in our model? Okay,
I don't know anything about your model. I'm just looking at reality. Let's try that.
So that's
the reality where the moon doesn't shrink to a tiny little star dot in the sky when it moves away, like the flat Earth liars try and tell us.
Yeah, but what is the moon? Oh,
it's already been explained what it is, and perspective.
No, you didn't explain what it is.
Perspective must shrink whatever it is if it is local, small,
well, what is it?
and moving away. That's what no matter what it is, if it's a Boeing
no matter
747,
what it
if
is,
it's small, if it's close and goes further away, it will shrink to a tiny, tiny little speck. But the moon doesn't do that.
Yeah, but what
if it's bigger? What if it's bigger than it should be and it appears brighter than it should? What does that mean?
Roots. I think you are easier to talk.
Yeah, increased gravity. That's what I originally asked. Can't answer that.
A Beowulf is not really fun. Roots. I'm going to ask you a question. So I know.
Wait, are you just here to have fun? If you're here to have fun, go to a gay bar.
Thanks. You sound like you know from experience. You sound like you know from experience. There's some good around. Let me know, please. Since you've been there, by the sounds of it. Roots. I got a question for you. So, the moon orbit, the moon going around Earth. Okay, that's what we say. That this path. Do you think it's circular, or do you think it's orbiting like in a? Pronounce it.
I don't know, but I don't think it's a perfect circle. No, I think it's taking a path around the Earth.
Yeah, exactly. But it's
not around, but above the Earth.
Oh, yes, but again, my point is, it's not a perfect circle, correct? It kind of goes close, kind of gets closer, it goes further. It's kind of got orbiting around us. So you'd be bound to see it closer at some point and getting it slightly smaller and bigger because it gets closer to us and it gets further away from us. Is that good enough? Just.
No, I'm talking about. I'm talking about the supermoon. I'm talking about the supermoon. You get the same effects with the sun sometimes as well. I'm not talking about the seasons.
Yeah, it's literally when.
I'm not talking about the seasons. We know there are seasons. What I'm talking about is there are certain days. Yeah, but there are certain days where the moon is bigger and brighter than it should be if you compare it to the previous year, for example. Why is that happening?
When the supermoon is when the moon is closest to the Earth and it is a full moon.
No, this is due to atmospheric effects. No. The sun can also have these effects as well.
No, in general, the concept of a huge object. Supermoon, the concept of a supermoon is a full moon that is on his closest position on this ellipsoid orbit.
Did you say concept?
The psychological effect that if it is at the horizon, it appears big, is something different. But still, a supermoon is a full moon closest to Earth.
That's why I asked you the question of elliptical orbit.
Yeah.
Also,
but that's an assumption. Listen, that's an assumption for your model that you cannot prove. Whereas in reality, we know we have lensing effects. We know we have atmospheric effects that can give you the appearance of objects that seem bigger as they go further away. They'll look like they're dropping horizontally as well. So these are effects that very much happen in the atmosphere.
I have a suggestion.
Prove it by just measuring the distance to the moon, either with laser or with radar. And we know that on a supermoon, the moon is closest because the rebound time is the lowest one.
So,
no, that's not reliable.
Correct. Okay.
Yes, about 2.5, 2.6 seconds return trip.
It's not reliable. The amount of outliers in those lasers
reliable for the moon, but they are for lakes.
Yeah, bouncing lasers off the moon is unreliable. The amount of anomalous results that you get that are ruled out during these observations is ridiculous. This is not a reliable way to determine the distance to the moon.
Actually, it is.